Okay, so the two parts that we talked about in our country are the two important things in our country are the Mississippi River and the Great Plains. So we were over here and we started moving west, and now we're in this area here. So the Mississippi River is America's largest and longest river. Okay. And the Mississippi River is important because of where it is. A lot of ships usually travel along the Mississippi to get different, things throughout America. The Mississippi River starts all the way up here in Minnesota, and then it travels all throughout the states, all the way down, and it ends in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it empties into the Gulf of Mexico. So again, it starts all the way in Minnesota, travels through a bunch of different places, different states, and it ends all the way here in New Orleans, Louisiana. So the Mississippi River is the excuse me. It is a very large river, really long river. And like I said, a lot of ships use the Mississippi River to get supplies to different parts of the country. That's why it's a very important river. And so as a bonus on your test on Friday, if you learn how to spell Mississippi, you'll get bonus points. It's a really easy word to spell. It's Mississippi. So if you remember that, then yeah, that's a way to get some extra points on your test. Asa, I'll have you do it after our spelling test Friday if you want to try for the bonus, okay? All right, so yeah, so that's all you would have to do. Sorry, I'm trying to find, there you go. That's what I said. Okay. All right. So after we visited the Mississippi River, we traveled and we saw what's called the Great Plains, which is in this area here. The Great Plains. The Great Plains is very important to America because most of the corn and wheat in our country is grown in the Great Plains. And so the Great Plains is a lot of low and flat land called prairies or plains. That's why it's called the Great Plains. And it's a lot of open land, and there's a lot of wheat and a lot of corn that is grown in this area. Okay. Also, there's a lot of cattle and a lot of sheep ranches that you will find in this area. You'll see a lot of cows, a lot of bulls. You'll see a lot of sheep as well, horses, and some of them live like freely. They just roam the Great Plains. Okay. So that's why the Great Plains is important because that's where most of America's corn and wheat grow. Okay, so that's the only two places we visited. Next week, we'll be moving on to the national parks, and we'll start in South Dakota next week, visiting Mount Rushmore. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and go to your science on page 61. Okay, so last week we discussed animals that hatch. They are born from an egg. And we also broke down the process that a frog goes through once the mother frog lays her eggs. So this week we moved on to a new animal. This is one of the largest animals in the world. It's not the largest, it's one of the largest land animals, and that is the elephant. And so we just talked about the unique design of the elephant, how God made the elephant, and why the elephant has certain things that it has. So first thing we talked about is an elephant's eyes. They don't see really well. Their eyes are really small. And to make up for their vision that isn't too well, they have really large ears. And so they can hear very well. They may not be able to see well, but they can hear very well. And so elephants can hear a leaf fall off a tree. That's how good they can hear. And so on 61 and 62, if you turn the page, we then discussed how one of the things that most people know the elephant for, on 63, is its trunk. That's what most people know about an elephant, is that they have a trunk. And so the elephant's trunk has a bunch of muscles in it, and it helps the elephant to do several things. One of those things being eating. The elephant will pick up foods, branches, leaves, whatever it's eating, and it will put it in its mouth by using its trunk, right? Some animals can eat with their hands. Some animals just bend down to eat, but the elephant uses its trunk to pick up food and to feed itself. The elephant also uses his trunk to get leaves out of a tree, right? If something is high up, a leaf is or a branch is high up in a tree, he'll reach his trunk all the way up, grab it off of the tree, and put it in his mouth. So his trunk can reach up high and his trunk can reach low as well. On page 64, if you turn the page, we talked about how sometimes it's expanded form. Sometimes elephants will get hot and they may want to take a shower. They can use their trunk like a straw where they can suck up water in their straw. In their trunk, they'll hold it and then splash the water on themselves. If there's no water around, because the savanna in Africa or India sometimes gets hot, has a drought where there's no water, they will then suck up dust and throw the dust on themselves, which will cool them off. I told you elephants are usually from Africa or India. That's the two places they're from. Like I said yesterday, guys, yes, you may have seen one in a zoo, but that's because they brought it here from another country. The elephants, where they roam freely, it's in Africa or India. So an elephant, he will use his trunk to take a shower as well. Sometimes an elephant will knock down trees and he'll use his trunk to carry that tree trunk wherever he needs to. So that means his trunk is really strong as well. Okay, on 66, we then talked about an elephant's tusk, which are also teeth, and it sticks out the mouth of an elephant. Those are not his only teeth. They have teeth. They have like 4 large teeth inside of their mouth. I told you guys that their teeth in their mouth can wear down and fall out, but they'll grow back, and it can happen like 6 different times. Usually when we lose teeth, it'll fall out once, it'll grow back once. But an elephant, it can happen like 6 times where they lose a tooth and it grows back. They use their tusks for 2 things: to dig up trees, the roots of a tree, and then they'll knock it down, or they use their tusks to fight off predators that may be trying to attack them or their babies. Most of the time, though, elephants aren't hunted. A lot of animals don't hunt elephants. I mean, look how big they are. Why would they? But the babies are sometimes in danger, and the baby will use its trunk to stay close to its mom. The baby will hold onto its mom's tail with its trunk. Okay? And lastly, an elephant has round feet to help support its heavy body. They are big and round, so they will use so they have really round and flat feet to help them stand on the ground and not sink, but also to support its heavy body. Okay? So that's our lesson this week in science on elephants. That's one of our animals we'll be talking about. Next week, we'll move on to a new animal, ducks. Okay? All right, so you can go ahead and put your science. Let's go ahead and get out our reading. All right, let's go ahead and get out our reading. So we are on our new book, Stepping Stones. Yesterday, we just did an intro to our book. Our book covers a lot of sounds from chart 8 and chart 9, mostly, and I think a little bit of chart 10, maybe a little bit, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and get started today in our books. Okay, we'll be on page 5, Start the Car. This is our first story. The mom has a problem with her car, and that's what we'll read about. All right, AC, you'd like to start us off on page 5?
Driveway was hard, wide, park, yard, inside, do not start the car. I tried 3 times and I can't start my car, Mom said to Dad one day. Let me try, Dad said. He went to the driveway. I drove to the vet and it was fine, Mom said. Dad said,
Okay, so mom is having a problem. What won't start? Her car is not starting. So she's having a lot of issues with her car. It doesn't want to start. And so who does she tell about her problem? She tells Dad about her issue, right? And so Dad is like, so did Mom drive her car? Yeah, she did drive it. She said she went where?
To the vet.
Went to the vet, right? She said she went to the vet, and so the car was working fine, but it seems like after that she had some issues. Okay, let's turn to page 6. Micah.
It is not a hard car to start, Mom said. Why can't I go and said, Dad said, I don't park
Did you do the next page?
it in the yard. I park it inside. Why can't it go? Dad said. See the gas spill on the driveway? This car has a leak. I will need to fix it and get more gas when the car will start. Mom said, yes, I see the spill. Let's fix it quick.
Okay, so dad is asking her about, the car, and so she's like, I can't figure out why it won't go. She's like, it's not a hard car to start, right? But what did they end up seeing in the driveway? A spill, right? Something was leaking, and what did they find out was leaking? The gas was leaking out of the car, and of course, you need gas to go. And so the gas was leaking out of the car, and unfortunately, that's why mom's car couldn't go. So mom's car couldn't go because of the gas spill, because of the leak, and sorry. And so what would she need to do to fix it?
Go get gas.
To go get gas, and also to do what?
Fix
the leak, right? Because she could put more gas in it, but if she didn't fix the leak, what would happen to it again? It would just start a leak again. So she needed to fix the leak and put gas in the car. All right, let's look at page 7. Let's look at our CH words. 7.
We go chin to bridge test hit
Arm. Charm.
storm
Now you know how to do it? No, okay.
till
ARR.
I'll go to wrestling. Excuse me.
Wait,
Chat.
and who's stuff on the floor? No, R. AR says R.
Chart.
Let's start. All right, let's read our sentences on page 7. Braylee.
My cat.
That's not right.
Don't
Like, are you even reading it?
cats. My mom eats that. Me. The rat like it eats. Number 5. Whoa.
Okay. 8, page 8. Kendall, OR, or.
Number 5.
No, number 1 wasn't right either.
Fourth. Oh. More. Four. Four. Four.
You never even fixed anything. You brought the same thing again on number one, but you didn't change anything.
I put 20.
That's not number one.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. Number 9, do you see my corn? Cairo, that's our next story. So we'll read about the pig and his corn that is missing. All right, 9.
My corn. The pig sat up in his pen. It was time to eat. I do not see my corn, he said to the sheep. It is time for my corn. Do you see it? The sheep came to the pen. No, I do not see your corn, he said.
Okay, so the pig is sitting in his pen. Sorry about that. So the pig is sitting in his pen and he has a problem. What is he looking for?
His
So the sheep comes and he asks the sheep if he saw his corn. Did the sheep see his corn?
No.
Page 10, back to you, Asa, page 10.
He laid his neck on the gate, but I do see a mess in that pen. It must be time to clean it. You cannot eat lunch in such a mess. The pig gave a snort.
Okay, you can stop there. You can stop there. Good. Okay, so the sheep tells him, no, I did not see your corn. Not just that, but what's wrong with the pig's pen? It's dirty. So he's like, of course you're not gonna find your corn. Look at your pen. Okay? Tells him he needs to do what? He needs to clean the pen, like ASAP. All right. Let's keep reading on page 10, Micah.
Wait, where are we starting it? Clean this fine pig.
That's
Not clean pig. He went back and
That's your problem. That is. If you had a book, you could follow along.
but he still did not see his corn. The horse came by the pig. His black mane showed 1-4 in the sun. So I went to the made.
Okay, so he's like, clean his pen. He was like, pigs don't clean their pens. And he didn't want to. That's why he couldn't find his corn. So now the horse comes, and let's see what he asks the horse on page 11. Tevin? That's still not right. Like, if you're not going to read it, it's not going to be right. You're just writing the numbers that you see by their name instead of reading it to see what it says. Ellen's right, but K is not right. You're just writing 14 because you see 14.
Do you see my horse? The pig said. The horse.
So then the answer is just 9.
His nose and said, pig, you will not find the corn in that messy
Get that out of your mouth. Look at your paper. I don't.
GH says,
That's what it say.
that muddy must be up to your chin. It is time to clean that pin.
It's 185, 186. Okay, so he asked the horse if the horse saw his corn. Did the horse see his corn? No, but he tells the pig that he needs to do what? Another animal is telling the pig it's time to clean his pen. Brayley?
So the sheep don't clean his pen. Oh. The chick said, that means, oh no, not this. The pig got his lost corn. It was cat with the mud. I cannot eat this corn, he said. I will choke on it. He was one sad pig. It is time to clean my pen, he said, and that is what he did.
Okay, so the horse left out of his pen because it was so dirty. Next, the chicken shows up, right? And so the chicken actually saw the corn, and where was it? It was in the mud. And again, the chicken tells him that he needs to what? Clean his pen. He said you shouldn't live in a mess like this. Okay, 13, Kyra, oh, Kendall.
It's so messy. The chicken said,
Sit on. Right here, the chicks.
The chicks said, cheap that. It was
Stop.
with my. I can't hear it.
I know. That's what I was thinking to myself.
Yeah. So I can't hear it. It's time to do that. What he did.
Okay. All right. So finally, the chicken tells him where it is, and it was in his pen the whole time. He's asking everyone where it was, and it was in his pen the whole time. So he couldn't even eat the corn. Why? Because it was muddy. And so what did he decide? It was finally time for him to do. He said, yeah, I think it's time I clean my pen. And that's what he did. Okay. All right, good guys. So that's it for our reading today. So that's the end of our Zoom. Asa, I will see you tomorrow morning for Bible, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye.